say at first when we heard about COVID, we had so much fears of contracting the virus and taking it to our family members. But now that time has went on, we are just here to save the nation. And as a nurse, it's a calling, so we took a pledge to become who we are. So we are here to overcome all our fears. We make sure that we wear our masks every time when we are attending to patients, or even just when we are just around the hospital premises. We also wear our aprons and hand gloves. I've been working as a nurse for the past 4 years. Yeah. And it has been an amazing journey, I would say. So this is the resource room. This is where we do all our emergencies. If we have a patient coming in that needs urgent attention, that they are not in a good condition, we bring them here. That's where we do all the stabilizing until when the patient is ready, is stable. Yeah. So we have a bed here. We have a suction machine. We have a monitor that we do to measure the blood pressures and heart rate. We have a ventilator. If the patient needs to be intubated and given ventilation, we put the patient on that machine. Yeah, we have IVEX here, which we use now to measure how much fluids go into the patient's body. And then we have our emergency trolley where we have medications and all the things that we need.
It really requires somebody to be very strong, and I think it's an ongoing process. So it's not quite easy when you come in the emergency department, when you want to help almost everybody with an equal opportunity, so it's a kind of challenge. So what's going to be emotional mostly, it's will I manage to help these patients according to their needs. So that's the most stressful patients. Stressful moment that you have individual. Like today, I'm at the emergency area where all the patients are passing through. So the minute that I need to attend to that particular patient means a lot. So if I didn't identify the needs of the problem at that moment, so we could have a serious damage to such particular patients if you did not identify the needs of the patient. For instance, the patient needs oxygen, and then you did not identify and establish that. So we're gonna lose that type of patients, like the asthmatic patient. Or the patient bleeding, you need to stop that bleeding, and you did not do that. So we end up losing that patient due to hypovolemic shock. That's the biggest challenge that you will think, will I manage? Yes, the fear will be there. So you don't know when you will come across to such patients. A patient can come in with another diagnosis or injuries, but you don't know the underlying problems. So the fear of getting COVID when you're at work, you put your PP on, but you never know. That's the fear of unknown. Really stage 1 and 2, those
of the lockdown, yeah.
Yeah, those ones, they're really helping us a lot because of most of people were not intoxicated. Means that when people are not intoxicated, people tend to look after themselves. People tend to buy food. People tend to look after their relatives that are sick on chronic medication, like the HIV patients, like the tuberculosis patients, like the HIV patients on treatment. So those people are being taken care of, are being fed well, relatives are there to remind them to take their medications. They are there to look after them. We really didn't have a lot of challenge like nowadays. Nowadays, people are coming to the hospital confused. People are coming to the hospital stabled, a lot of them, car accident, a lot of them. And then in this case of COVID, just like the other diseases, so people will not take care of themselves, people will not wear their mask, people will not stay at home, so that's what I see comparing to the stages. These stages is really hectic. It's more busy at night, especially from 10 to 3 o'clock in the morning. That's the most busiest time, because that time the bars are closed and the clubs are closed. So that's when, and also that's when most of the people get drunk, especially weekends, Friday to Saturday, better on Sundays. The most of the challenge that I've encountered on casualty is, like I said in the beginning, is when you are working at emergency area where I'm working right now, you don't know what you're expecting. Anytime you can have emergency, where the patient need just pulmonary resuscitation. So mostly what is more challenging is when you have 2 to 3 patients that need your help now. So at that moment you don't know which patient to choose. That's the most challenging and the most awful moment. If I start with this one, how about the other one? That's the most challenging. But in most cases we manage. We use our intuitions, and God always leads us. Yeah.
Okay, so what type of emergencies you normally deal with? And is it mostly with men or women?
Your emergency does not matter, because emergency can be patient coming with a medical condition. Medical conditions can be high blood pressure that the patient is having, they call it a stroke, but as we call it a CVA. So patient coming with CVA, or it can be a diabetic patient that is coming with a hypoglycemic shock, or it's a car accident, or it's a stable, those types of patients. Yes. Like today we have 2 emergencies of the baby and we lost 1. So, and we are the referral hospital, or the patients are referred from other hospital for the better management, and then they come in those critical conditions. So they come in this room straight.